Hey everyone, welcome to Valor Gameplay. We're here to commentate on gameplay for 15 minutes or less. I'm your host, Micah. I also coach this team, so I'll be giving you guys some insights and just kind of commentating on what we see as far as the game's going. So we're gonna hop straight on in. We're gonna be starting set 3 here. We'll talk about set 1s and 2 kind of later on during our series here, but set 3 we had there was a lot of positive changes that we've made. As you can see, we lost to Ascension by 2 points. What you don't notice beforehand is that we were actually down something like 16 to 23 or 22 at the end of that match, but we ended up coming back and battling and pushing Ascension all the way to as high as we were. So it's these guys made some really great adjustments. We're going to kind of highlight a lot of what we see here. We're going to do this all in just about 15 minutes, hopefully, and make this thing kind of fun and easy to digest here. So we'll get started. For our first server here, we're starting row 1. Yeah, we'll take a couple things. I'll skip through as this play goes by. Some nice little start block. We'll keep going. We'll pause as we get some good looks and good plays. Really solid play by Kaysen. We'll just keep skipping through, right? If we're trying to get this under 15 minutes. So another big serve here. So nice down on this particular one. We want to focus their big tall players. Nice little spot in transition. Big double block. Got waterfall there. Just a little bit late on the middle, but nonetheless, it was still pretty solid effort here. So we're going to set up in our kind of standard serve receive. You'll see as we start getting stuck into pretty good situations, I'll start pulling some crazier plays out and making these guys kind of overload some things. So against Ascension, our target's actually the liberos. We feel like their liberos are probably the weaker links at times for their team, depending on who's out there. But if they had a very solid string of liberos, usually you don't want to serve toward them. We would probably pick on their biggest dude. He's right back here in this zone. Kind of make him work, get him tired. But in this particular situation, I've had the guys really target the libero, really make them kind of go short or use their hands. The type of ball we use is an international style ball, so it's very slippery, very, very easy to make errors on because it is very unforgiving. There's no grip on it, so you have to be perfect when you're making the play. So we'll keep pushing this on here. So jump serve, and we'll send it out. Just in Valor style. If you're going to go big, you go home, right? So we stack ourselves up here. Little easy float. Alright, nice little smart dump. You saw right there, it should have been an easy float to control, but it is a very slippery ball. It is probably one that is harder to take with your hands as a handset, but we still want these guys doing it because it's probably one of the easier passes too. Nice little backflip out, perfect with the miss because it was distracting. But we create content, right? That's what Valor's all about, is creating content, having fun while we're doing it. So, all right, we'll push through a little bit. A little overpass. Timmy's probably getting a little bit tired, but probably with a finish. Just kidding. So one thing that we really try to focus on doing a lot is really scrappy defense. If you're able to scrap against other teams, obviously it gets into their minds that they're not going to get an easy point at all. So these guys are doing a really good job at it. Right, so do a little highlight reel for Ascension. We like to do that, we like to make sure that the other team's having fun and pass perfect balls for those overpass kills, right? We're just a bunch of team players. That's just what we do. So, okay, we'll talk about this one real quick. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I want to just highlight it real fast. So these particular situations, your standard defensive slot or serve receive slot is you're going to have your right side all the way out here to give yourself the C ball, right? And then you're going to have your middle lined up in the middle section to hit, middle ball as standard. And then you have your outside hitter kind of slide out after he passes to hit, a standard outside ball. But we're getting beat 2 to 3 points. We need to change it up, mix it up against Ascension. So what I do in this case, right, is I'm going to push our right side all the way over to this section. We're going to do what's called an overload serve receive or overload offensive scheme. And I'm going to have my setter essentially tell these 3 guys whatever he's feeling on what they want him to run, right? Blake's a really good slide setter or a slide hitter. Gibby's just big and fast, so he can kind of do anything. Taylor's a little bit slower, but he's a really smart hitter, so he can kind of these guys are pretty versatile. They can kind of do what they need to do. So at this point, I'm kind of just letting Kai, who's our setter, kind of just run the offense and figure out, play these guys around, see where they'd be really strong at. So kind of push through. Fortunately, we don't get to see what exactly happened because of that, but I like to think that because there's a weird different look out here, their game plan of who they want to serve to essentially kind of gets changed a little bit because their target might be in a different zone, or we're forcing them to change up. That's what I'm going to tell myself to make myself feel better, but nonetheless, that's we'll take that point, right? Let's push through. We got Taylor coming up here to serve. Really smart server. Super scrappy, right? Except for that one. We give our liberos at least one, right? They get at least one per day, not per set, not per match, per day. And that was his one. But Timmy's a hard worker. We're not going to harp on him for doing, a dumb play like that. It was a smart play if it went over. So if you guys notice in this particular situation, Gibby, he's our outside hitter. Most serve receives, you see your outside hitter pulling back to pass, libero will shift over. Our other attacker will kind of be in the middle. He's not the most comfortable at passing right now, early on in our season, so we pull Taylor, who's our right side, our opposite. We pull him up to pass. He's fantastic on his arms, fantastic on his hands. He can control a ball super, super easy. So this really works when you've got a really powerful hitter that doesn't feel comfortable in certain situations. Utilize their strengths and hide their weaknesses, right? We're hiding his passing. We're utilizing Taylor's strengths, which is his ball control. Don't be afraid to go outside of the normal, right? We don't have to have this guy passing just because that's what our coaches did before us, or vice versa. This is a really good offensive setup because we have our 3 better passers back here, and our offensive threats are up, able to not focus on passing but just hitting, right? All right, we'll move on. Top spin serve. You can see pretty decent hands. Super solid. This is what we talk about scrappy work, right? Let's go back. So not shank pass. Taylor's really good. Usually I want my setter to take that, but that's all right. We'll let him have his fun. So we cover, we pass up. High enough ball. Most people are going to be safe, roll shot, keep the ball in, but we want these guys to create content. We want these guys to kind of go all out. If we lose a match because we're being aggressive, so be it. That's just how, that's the Valor way, right? That's how we want to conduct ourselves. So Gibby top spin serve, pretty nice. We'll let him play some defense in the back row. Get off the antenna. Usually with our middle backs, we probably want them a little bit further back, but Gibby hasn't been able to practice with us, so we're going to kind of let him run the way he needs to without having him focus too much on trying to run our defensive scheme at this early on in the season. But at some point, when the more he practices with us, the more we're going to get him used to staying back so he can pass those kinds of balls, right? So the reason we don't want a middle back being up that close is you take a lot away from the libero to make these the inside attack, right? Liberos, it's harder for liberos to work back or like short to out, so we want these guys to be able to work from out to in rather than outside, playing in that short. What a set. Incredible. So a big thing about Ascension that we've noticed, they're a very heavy outside setting team. Once our team starts recognizing that a little bit more and they start playing the odds, we'll start throwing some triple blocks up a little bit more, because honestly that's what we need to be doing against teams that only really set, like 70-80% of the balls in one direction. Blake's got crazy outside hitting. Keep going. Nice. Great little scrap-off play. Very solid. Blake is probably one of our top favorites. Him, Xander, and Timmy are probably our fan favorites out here. So you'll hear this crowd screaming and cheering after them. What we totally want. Boom. Luckily, everyone's paying attention and we get that point. Those type of plays right there, super mental breaking against other teams, right? You think you get that free point, but the reffing crew saves you. So thank you, reffing crew. All right, so move on a little bit more. Jump serve, we miss it. Oh well. We're going big, right? That's what we want to do. Nice little float. Taylor, easy peasy. That was a little miscommunication. That would have been super clean though. But that is exactly what we really want to see out of our teams, right? That was a beautiful slide. Let's go back. You can kind of see how these guys are moving. Let's go. Playback speed, super slow. So you kind of see at this point, he's running a slide that spreads it out. This guy has to follow our setter, right? These two guys may not notice him coming, so they're starting to shoot out toward their outside. If Gibby was paying attention, we ran it straight up here. There's this fat gap right in here that we'd be able to take advantage of. But that's just these two haven't been practicing together, so that'll come with time. But keeps it in, keeps it safe. We'll get beat on the back dump, and we'll move on here. All right, so what you guys may not have seen right there, let's go back. So we got beat a couple different points here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spread. We're actually a little bit out of rotation here. But I'm going to bring him all the way across. My setter should probably be right here, realistically. But our refereeing crews, we're asking them not to be too stringent on the rules at this point. So with this particular situation, he would be over here. But for the sake of the game, I'm bringing my outside hitter all the way over, right? I'm leaving our big middle who can either be a threat from the outside hit or swing on the inside and be an inside swing, right? That's going to pull these two in to hyper-focus on him, which should hopefully leave our right side a single block, right? Or you'll notice what happens in here is the setter doesn't really pay attention and leaves this wide open turn back gap because he's expecting somebody to be out here, right? These are these little trick plays that a lot of teams, if they're not paying attention, we're going to probably score points on. This is what they call like a coach's point, strictly because it's a coach that's sitting on the sideline that's recognizing what's happening on the other team and taking advantage of it, right? Players, when you're a player coach, it's hard to see these things happen in real time. So this is a massive point for us. Super cool. Little cut back turn, easy, nothing to block there, right? All right, nice little float. We're attacking probably their best passer. Another push out outside, good little coverage. Little C ball, and this is where Taylor here is a freaking animal when it comes to this kind of stuff. These type of high IQ plays where most young guys are probably in a net trying to reach over and grab this ball, right? He shows that, hey, I'm going to go block this thing, or I'm going to make some sort of attempt on it, pulls his hands back last minute. The other team is, anticipating him touching it, and they mess up. So massive IQ point right there. Good serve. Pretty solid. All right. A little easy of a libero swing, but it's okay. So that's a great funnel to our libero. This particular situation, ooh, we got a little back row attack. That particular situation, I'd probably reverse the flow and throw a C ball right back here. But in our case, Kaysen right now is absolutely destroying balls. Nobody can stop him. So that's probably a good high percentage set to be going to our outside hitter. So another serve toward the libero. Not the greatest of the first passes. And here's where it comes, right? This is everything that we've been working for at practice, finally getting put in together, right? We make the decision to place Kaysen on the right side, right? Cason's a big blocker. Taylor's a good support blocker. And boom, they recognize that it's going to go to the outside. They set up a perfect triple block. All went up at the same time, landed at the same time. Textbook triple block. That scores us the point, right? That is a mental destruction over there. All right, I'm running out of time here, so we're going to probably just finish on that point right there. Let's go back. I got about 30 seconds left. I just want to go over that one more time, right? Let's go back. It's a good little play. We'll slow it down for the final points here, right? You can kind of see he pushes them up. We realize that it's going to most likely be the outside as an out-of-system set. Good little push. They both move in unison. 1, 2, down, up, thing of beauty, perfect triple, funnel to our middle who throws it down, right? What we've been working on. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff right there. Good job, guys. Well, that's it. That's for 15 minutes. I have a ton of gameplay that I'm going to go through with you guys. I'm going to create a lot of content for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll be coming back with some more episodes. If you like this, or if there's anything else that you want, that you're interested in us producing out for you, you're interested in my thoughts on certain players or what they do, definitely leave us some comments below. Give us some direction here. If not, we're going to keep pumping out this hopefully fun commentary for you guys to just sit back and enjoy, maybe on a lunch break or something like that. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you guys in the next episode.